What's up, a Cinema Shogun here, and it is now turned into a war zone outside of Quinton Simon's house. I can't think of another word that could properly describe it because we have several different forces here going to battle with each other. At first, we had the YouTubers show up, and it was like the YouTubers versus Billie Joe and Leilani. And then other protesters showed up, and then it was like the protesters led by the YouTubers against Billie Joe and Leilani. And then a lot of the protesters realized that they were being used by the YouTubers, and they kind of separated themselves. So it was like YouTubers versus Billie Joe and Leilani, protesters versus Billie Joe and Leilani, but the protesters were kind of separate from the YouTubers. More YouTubers came in. You got to follow me here, okay? It's a complex situation. And now we have new forces coming in. We have people who are defending Billie Joe. So it's like there's people on Billie Joe's side now that are against the protesters and the YouTubers. And then we got counter protesters who aren't necessarily there to support Billie Joe, but they are totally against the YouTubers outside of Billie Joe's house. So it's like World War III happening right now down in Savannah, Georgia on, what is it, Buckhalter Road? I can't even remember the street name, but it has gone absolutely bonkers out there. Earlier today, a YouTuber was arrested for assaulting an old woman right outside of Quinton Simon's house. And it was caught on like 7 different live streams. Literally, like you could see it from 18 different angles. I don't know what the hell is going on at this point. But as all these sides are battling each other, Billie Joe and her family, they're not taking this lying down either. They're using some tactics of their own. You see, the protesters and the YouTubers, they've been using stuff like baby music and chants and whatnot to get at Billie Joe and to get at Leilani. Well, Billie Joe has been playing back music of her own. And as the YouTuber was in handcuffs about to get carted away outside of her house today, she was blaring bad boys, over her speaker while her disco ball was shining. It is a spectacle to see. I can assure you that. And they've also been using other tactics. Apparently, while the YouTubers and the protesters, when they leave at night to go sleep in their hotel rooms or to go sleep in their beds, Billie Joe and her family are putting cow manure out there in the areas where the protesters are standing. Earlier today, photos were taken. They were putting old, stinky, nasty, stinky, slimy fish guts, fish heads, and fish parts all along the area where the protesters are standing. So as they are out there live streaming in front of their house, they are smelling just pure stankness the entire time. Not to mention that I'm sure it's pretty hot there. They're sweating. You know, the frustrations, they're yelling back and forth, screaming at the top of their lungs. It doesn't look like it smells that great out there to begin with. And then you have the fish guts, fish heads, cow doo-doo, and they're standing amongst it as they live stream. And I mean, hats off to them. I mean, that was a good tactic. That was clever thinking. I will say that. But as I watch this situation play out, the further I distance myself from really choosing a side in this situation. On one hand, I can't stand with Billie Joe and her family, of course, especially after the things that we know. But at the same time, I can't stand with people who are outside turning this situation into a complete circus. So I am not choosing sides in this situation. It's one of those things where it just is what it is. I'm more of a spectator. So I'm not fully against this person. I'm not fully against that person. But I do feel myself at points feeling somewhat bad for Billie Joe and her family. The members of the family who don't have anything to do with this. You know what I mean? Not Leilani. I think Leilani needs to realize that all of this stuff that's happening, it looks like it's happening because of you. And if you're guilty and you know you're guilty and you're harboring that information inside of you while you watch your family be destroyed, then that's completely selfish. Because either you're going to get arrested or karma is going to find its way to you eventually. And in the process, you are destroying your mother and your brother and your other brother and whoever the hell else is over there related to you. Because they are taking the brunt of all of this pushback for you, really. And yes, we could talk about how, Billie Joe was responsible in many ways for those kids because she had custody of those kids. But Leilani, if you did this, you are bringing this onto your family. And I'm not saying I agree with everything that's happening, but you are the key to making it stop. So I wish that Leilani would make this stop instead of having this situation drag out for Lord knows how long. It's now been over a month. And it's hard to think that I've been covering this story every single day, multiple videos a day, for over a month now. And in many ways, we know nothing more now than we knew basically on day one. I mean, we got a few tidbits of information here and there, but in the grand scheme of things, we're still kind of at where we were on the first few days of me covering this case. Yet so much has happened. So much has happened. But at the same time, it's like nothing has happened at all. But I'm interested in seeing what does Billie Joe do next. We have the disco ball. We have the music playing. We got cow crap. We got fish guts. I don't know what's going to happen next. We got someone going to jail for assault. I've lost count. Forgive me. I think we are is that 7 now? It's either 6 or 7. I think it's 7 people arrested outside of Quinton Simon's home. This one, I believe, is more of a serious charge as opposed to standing in someone's driveway or trespassing. So we will see how the situation plays out. Let me know what you all think, though, down in the comments below while you're down there. Hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.